All right, what's up? Welcome to the Gossip Intellectual Podcast with me, Royce Wynn, comedian Royce Wynn. We talk about sports, entertainment, politics. How are you? I'm doing well. It's a rainy day. Fun to podcast on a rainy day. Like, you know, how people are like, yeah, when you're watching your little Netflix shows or you're just in the bed rotting and scrolling, I'm podcasting while it's raining outside. Had a weird walk this morning because I didn't know it rained. I slept hard. I was tired. Okay. To be honest, I didn't want a podcast today. I wanted to sleep in all the way, but I was just like, the podcast is doing so much for me. I have to keep doing it. I have to keep showing up because then other things show up in my life. But yeah, so I dragged myself out of bed. As you guys know, we do this on Saturdays now due to my new job and work schedule, which is slowly taking over my life. And I walked outside. I was like, oh, shit, it rained? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's supposed to rain all weekend. All right, I'll just get my umbrella. That's why I bought the umbrella. Guess what? The umbrella's gone. Okay? You want to talk about things that are not surviving? Is umbrellas. All right? We're going to talk about Trump and the National Guard in a second. He needs to sing a National Guard to find all the lost and abused umbrellas in New York City. Because one thing you can't hold on to in New York City is an umbrella. This umbrella has probably been gone about a week, but I didn't know because you're just always out and about. You on the subway, you lose the umbrella. You go to a cafe, you leave the umbrella. If you want to find an umbrella, don't pay for an umbrella. Just walk around New York City, you will find an umbrella. So I was mad because, you know, I just kind of flounder through life, right? I'm a little bit of a gypsy, guys. All right, most artists are. And for once in my life, I had prepared for rain, for bad days. But then I lost the umbrella. So I had to grab the broken umbrella. And you would think I would just, you know, make a quick short walk. It's like, you know what? It's raining. You got a broken umbrella. You look stupid with a half working umbrella. Okay? You only have half the umbrella. Your shoulders are gonna get wet. All right. But I was like, I really want to go for my walk and go through my regular routine to the coffee shop that is 2 long blocks away. So I was like, I'm gonna walk. I walked all the way to the coffee shop, and then all the seats were taken. Which I knew was a possibility, but I still did it. I had to see. So then I had to stand, wait for my coffee. My coffee was lukewarm. Then I had to send my coffee back. Okay? I was like, at least give me a hot coffee. They were like, oh, our bad. Then they were like, I can't give you a coffee. I have to give you an Americano. So now I got water coffee. Okay? It was good. No complaints there. But just saying, didn't get the coffee. And then I had to walk all the way back. So I haven't sat down. All I want to do was sit down and drink my coffee. So I walked 10 minutes to get the coffee, stood for another 5 minutes to get the coffee, then walked another 10 minutes back, 25 minutes of non-sitting. And I'm like, why am I losing weight? This is why I'm losing weight. Even though I don't work out, I'm walking all the time. And I realized that non-eating thing that girls do, it works. Because sometimes at work, I'm so busy, I don't have time to eat or eat something heavy. So I've been eating pretty light. So I think that's why I've been keeping my figure. Anyway, I got a bacon, egg, and cheese from the deli. And I sat in the doorway for a little bit. I had my coffee. So that was my morning. So far, you know, I'm doing okay. I'm in New York, ignoring my problems, podcasting, TikToking, writing, doing what I came here to do. That's why I feel like it is good to follow your dreams, you know, because I really don't have if I have a bad day at work, I don't care, because then I get to leave and do a TikTok and write jokes and follow my dreams. It's like, I don't care about this job. I should care, though, a little bit more. You know, our current administration is making it really hard for the working class. Shoot, I can't think of her name. Laverne Cox. Yes, got it. She made a very good point. She was like, even if you're an actor and you're making a lot of money, you're still the working class. And at this point, they just don't want any benefits or any support for anybody who's not a billionaire. So, you know, even if you are doing a starving artist hustle like me, you know, it should be a little bit easier, you know, especially in a competitive city like this. You know, I just have this looming thing over my head. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to live and continue to follow my dreams. With the little shot I have left. You know what I feel like? I feel like I'm in the position I was when I first came to New York on a whim. And I didn't know what was going to happen. I was just like, you know what? I'm still, you know, young. And, you know, I should just give it a shot. You know, worst that can happen, I'll come back and, I don't know, go to grad school and work for the government or something. And it was scary. It was like, I was like, all right, I'm going to do this waiting job thing with my college degree and do these mics. And it worked out. I got a job and then got another job, and it went by fast. And just wrote and performed and watched and performed and just consumed myself with comedy as much as I could. But everything was up in the air. I remember at one point. No, it was like a year. Was it ending? No, it was right before. Yeah, it was right before I got this commercial. It was just like, I don't know where I'm going to live. I don't know if I'm going to have rent. And I was just thinking about how they always say, like, it's like it gets bad before, it gets really bad before it gets good. And I think it has to happen that way most of the time, so you're prepared for the good. So I'm like, I think good is coming. We're going to speak it into existence. When you speak positively, you just feel better. As somebody who is does affirmations and stuff, it's just better for your mind, body, and soul to speak positively. And to have positive visions. It's something about that. So I do believe in that part of the law of attraction. And obviously you got to do the work. I think some people forget about that part. It's like, you got to still do the work. So I did TMZ Live again. And it was a little bit better. Still got a ways to go. But hey, last year I completely froze. I couldn't even do it. At that time, my anxiety was really bad. So we've gotten better. They reached out. So we did the first time. I was freaking out the first time. But that's when I was just like, you know what? You think you're just talking to an abyss, doing this podcast, and then something like TMZ Live comes along. You're like, you know what? I kind of know my way around, you know, doing this and doing all those TikToks. So same thing. I started overthinking. I started freaking out. And on top of this, I'm like preparing to go to work. I had to wash my clothes. You know, just doing my little house stuff while they're sending me subjects, stuff to talk about. And then the thing that I thought I was going to talk about, they're like, we don't have time to get to that. Because I was like, listen, it's getting kind of late. I might not be able to do it. And I really wanted to do it just for my own self-esteem. I was like, the more of these I do, obviously the more comfortable I'll get, the better I'll get at it. So they're like, all right, can you talk about this? And I was like, sure. It was Taylor Swift. Do I listen to Taylor Swift? Not really. But I cover her. I talk about some of the things that comes out with her. I'm in the know a little bit. Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, great for the algorithm. So boom. The producers call me for the setup. And I freaked out because in stand-up, like, some comics don't like to watch the comic before them because you get in your head, you start overthinking, and I did that. I watched, like, this dude named Buck. Buck was a country dude. Buck was going back and forth with them for a good 15, 20 minutes. They were like, this was great, Buck. Thanks for your contribution. I was like, I don't know if I have I don't know, the energy to go back and forth like Buck. So then the producer was like, you just got to talk for 10 to 15 seconds. I could do that. I could do 10 to 15 seconds. So anyway, I'm chilling. I go to wipe my nose like this, and then the camera comes on. I'm like, hey. And I said my opinion again. When you get really nervous and you can't hear anymore, I don't think I even heard what Harvey said. I had to watch it back. Like, in the moment, like, I kind of heard what he said, but I didn't get what he was saying, so I just smiled. Then they cut. Anyway, we did it. Second one down. Hopefully next month I'll be a little bit calmer and I could do better. Voice was still wobbly. Still talked a little slow. I think Charlie, it's Charlie, right? Charlie and Harvey were nervous for me. They put you in front of this, like, big screen, which I didn't know. I liked it the first time where I didn't see anything. So that made me more nervous. I was like, I'm on the big screen in front of them looking stupid. But we did it. We did it. We got the little clip and got my confidence up a little bit. But I truly do think, doing the podcast helped me overcome, those things so I could be prepared to do that. We've come a long way. All right. What are we going to start with? I guess we'll start with Chicago. You know what I forgot to say? I realized, even though I didn't really care what they were talking about, I just had to give my opinion. I was like, you're born to gossip, Royce. You're born to give your opinion on things and just talk about stuff. So be yourself, accept who you are. Didn't say it. I was just like, the fact that I was so ready and to talk about it so decisively, even though I barely knew what was going on, didn't care. I was like, you're where you're supposed to be. Okay, so the National Guard is being deployed to Chicago. Okay, Don Lemon is there. People do not like it. The mayor and the governor are going back and forth with Trump, and Trump wants them to be arrested. You know what's funny? He projects. Like, everything he wants people to be arrested for, he should be arrested for. This is like, you're not following the law. They were like, we didn't even know y'all were coming. Like, when somebody comes to your house without you knowing, you're just like, I wasn't prepared. I didn't even know what was going on. If I wanted to, I could say you're trespassing. Right? That's pretty much what Trump did. He was just like, we're going to send the National Guard without a phone call. Okay? I work in a building. You got to call before you come up. Okay? You just can't come in and do what you want. So him and the governor are going back and forth. The governor's on a press run. The governor's on Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel has become Trump's biggest enemy in comedy right now. I guess he's the only comedian back fighting against billionaire regimes. Only comedian left, I mean. Yeah, he's doing skits. He's making fun of Trump. Now, Pritzker is a billionaire. So that's who you want. You want a billionaire that looks like Tony Soprano fighting against Trump for his city. He's like, I know you. I know what type of guy you are, okay? I really know the mob, okay? I'm a billionaire from Chicago, all right? So it's real mob versus fake mob. By the way, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm making that up. Then you got a Brandon Johnson, black dude. He got glasses, but he looks like he gets scary when he takes his glasses off. You sending who? The National Guard? Arrest me! I've been arrested before. So you know what they look like? How you want, like, I don't know, somebody to look like that toxic version of them. Like, they're both big, stocky dudes. Right? So yeah, like Pritzker looks like a lineman. And Brandon Johnson looks like a tight end, like the real Chicagoan, deep dish pizza looking dudes. So they're both standing up to Trump. They're both going through the law. They're both saying they don't need to be there. Trump is putting out propaganda that they do want that the people want the National Guard to be there, and they said that in D.C. But I think overall, it just makes it feel like a military country. Like, what you trying to turn this shit into Israel? Like, nobody wants to walk around with troops everywhere. That is not fun to be around. So, I mean, the governor has to stand up to something like this and push back. Also, they got ICE. The ICE thing is crazy. It's just been harmful videos after harmful videos. I saw them push a fat white lady who was a reporter on the ground and arrest her. Another black lady reporter arresting them, and we had a situation during the pandemic with a black man who was arrested on the ground, and it just reminded me of that. So these guys are just grabbing people, and there's no like type of process for this. Like, Trump don't like paperwork. Just do it, right? He likes to use his paperwork. He'll use executive decisions and sign off on them people going in, but he doesn't want to do the proper paperwork to give people warrants and look into their situation and be fair about this situation. He just wants to bully and grab people off the street, which is even dictators in other countries don't move like that. You got to at least say something before they come get you. And then he also went after Portland, right? You're like, when you think of Portland, all you think of just lazy people lying in street. Shout out to Portland. I'm sure it's a great city, has added a lot to the. But I'm just saying that the stereotypical thinking of Portland is literally just people smoking in the streets, chilling. Nobody's scared. Nobody's scared of Portland. Nobody is like Chicago. They've got some things out there, but Portland. What do you send the National Guard to Portland for? For vacation? That's what you put on the brochure to get people to join the National Guard. You can go to Portland and relax and eat some donuts and coffee. So he don't like Antifa, right? I've heard Antifa all my life, but I just looked it up. It's anti-fascist. So it's like, Of course, he don't like the Antifa in Portland, right? So apparently they have I don't know, maybe, I guess the Antifa in Portland is making waves, and he don't like that. Then somebody in one of the meetings used the word anarchist, which is literally against authoritarianism. So I was like, so you're calling yourself an authoritarian right there. He was like, the anarchists don't like it. The people that don't like authoritarians don't like it? Yeah. They don't. So, yeah, this is all part of Project 2025. It's just sending the military in to do things. By the way, this is a billionaire that doesn't live amongst the people. He's in Rolls Royces and rich hotels. He's not even out and about. When is the last time you saw Trump out and about in the streets talking to people? All right. Home Alone 2 was the last time you saw that. So, that's just the state we're in. We've got a dude that's power hungry in office who's just sending the military everywhere with no plan, no action. The military's picking up trash. They're basically trashmen at this point. I think trashmen make more than them. And it's just ridiculous. And he's got ICE and the National Guard in these big cities. And it's just weird. It's just like, why? It's the city. Okay? He's trying to turn the city into the suburbs. But it's still making the city look worse because it's a bunch of military in the city walking around with rifles and stuff. Meanwhile, schools are still getting shot up. So yeah, I don't know what to say. Overall, it's just it's weird. It's a weird thing that he's got going on. Oh. So I was watching Don Lemon. They were saying he's doing all this to distract from the Epstein files, which is kind of true, or kind of working, I guess. But those are going to come back up because of the great journalists and reporters that do their job. So I don't know. All I can say is whatever you know, I try to do whatever I can to speak up about it. Give information, get information. This is a time where you gotta know a little bit of what's going on because it's affecting everything you do. I said that at the beginning of the podcast, right? So everybody's affected. Your family's gonna be affected. Your life is gonna be affected. Okay. And this is America, so you're gonna have diverse friends whose families are going to be affected by ICE. And so thank God for mayors and governors, even Gavin Newsom, who we're about to talk about, for standing up to this, because this is not how you should go about things. We could say it like that. Okay, so Gavin Newsom was on the Higher Learning podcast, and remember, he had Charlie Kirk on. He had Steve Bannon. I think I watched both of them. I think I spoke on both of them on his podcast. And people were annoyed. They were like, why are you platforming these radical people who are just going to go on there and spread their propaganda and wrong ideas? And he didn't really give a good answer to it. He said, I'm trying to understand. I'm like, well, call them on the phone. Okay. Watch their podcast and take notes. Do they need to be on your podcast? So the underlying idea, I guess, is to talk to these guys and try to bring their people over to him a little bit. And I'm just like, unless you're pushing racism and misogyny, how are you going to get his people over to you? Steve Bannon has this whole I'm the populist for the working people thing. that he's pushing. I don't know. That dude's weird. Okay, and I forgot. I broke it down before, but when I listened to the interview, I was just like, he's a crazy dude that makes it sound good, but at the end of the day, he's full of shit and about power for white men. Bottom line. As we all know, he's a dude behind. He's one of Trump's strategists, but he doesn't like Elon Musk. So, clearly, Gavin Newsom is running for president, and he's trying to figure out how they lost so bad to Trump, and I disagree with the way he went about it, or at least he said he's not trying to debate, but I'm like, that's what you need to do. And then he was at the same time, he was like, Joe Rogan is lying on him, but won't have him on a podcast. And I'm like, well, then if you're going to debate Joe Rogan, debate Charlie Kirk and Steve Bannon. And rest in peace to Charlie Kirk, even though his wife is being weird and trying to make her own Super Bowl halftime show. All I'm saying, if a loved one dies, and it's hard to go forward, the last thing I'd be thinking about is making my own Super Bowl halftime show. I'd be like, that one we can relax. If we want to keep the company going, we can. So clearly, it's a racist company. If you're so bothered by Bad Bunny, please come on. How petty can you get? That's like petty racism right there. But I don't know. It's this whole agenda against Latinos. Are there any Latinos that they do like? Marco Rubio's the only Latino they like. How can Marco Rubio sit there and watch them drag people off the street, complain about Bad Bunny, and just be like, here, I'm going to help you. And I was watching them sit in those boring ass meetings. Everybody's falling asleep. And I'm just like, look at what y'all have to go through just for a little bit of money and power. Whatever. Yeah, so his answer wasn't sufficient. I'm glad they asked that question. I have been waiting to hear his explanation. And it was what we thought it was. It was him trying to figure out how to get to the other side and get these votes. But I don't think it was a good decision to sit down with those guys, especially if you're not gonna fact check them. Or you could have done both. I see he was trying to see, like, why is Charlie Kirk reaching so many college kids? What is it about what he's saying that's resonating with them? And then push back on those ideas and break down why those ideas are wrong. It's like, yeah, it's hard to get a girlfriend because you don't have any money, but let's figure out how to get you jobs and a girlfriend and take some social talking classes or something. Okay. You don't have to vote for Trump to get girls in a job that you didn't even get. Have you gotten more girls in jobs because you voted for Trump and supported Charlie Kirk? So that annoyed me a little bit. And he said he did acknowledge sitting down with a black woman, black man, what that looks like and what that means to us. So I did like that he said that. But overall, what he was saying is the Democrats don't have a good messaging system, and they still haven't figured it out. And it's not looking good. But that was the biggest thing. It was just like somehow the messaging as basic and simple and idiotic as it was, it worked. And we need a guy. The only guy that's got great messaging right now is Mom Donnie. I was listening to what they try to press him about. Oh, about the fact that Trump is not going to help him out as much. And I forgot what he said, but he answered it so smooth. I was just like, at first, because what is it? Mahdi Hassan was just like, that guy's an all-star communicator. And at first I thought he was hyping him up, but after I saw that, I was like, he is. This is the type of dude you need. You need a dude that had a little bit of privilege and an intellectual, but is still about the people and grew up in the city. So I don't know. We need another Zoran. We need like 3 more Zorans. So we can get this country back to normal. All right, so they said the first part of Israel-Hamas deal is done. But then they were saying while the deal was being done, Israel was still bombing people. And they said part of the deal was that they're going to let aid get to the people of Palestine. They're literally starving them out. If you follow that stuff, you know. But I haven't followed this too closely because it's just so horrific, dog. I mean, yeah. So they won't starve out the people anymore and won't bomb each other anymore, I think is the first part of the deal. But they're still bombing and starving out the people. I think they made some waves with Lebanon and the surrounding countries. So they're working through it. It's still really messy. But the biggest part of the story is Netanyahu said Trump should get a Nobel Peace Prize for brokering this deal. And then Trump didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize, and then he was mad he didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize. So it was a lady in Venezuela that I guess went against the dictator there and tried to fight for democracy there. And then Trump did a press conference like, basically, I helped her do it. I did everything, and she was the face, pretty much. He didn't say that, but he kind of said that. So he said that she said thank you so much, which, you know, Trump is like Diddy. You got to kiss his ass so he doesn't ruin your life. And she's been getting interviewed and propped up and celebrated. So that's been the talk is a Nobel Peace Prize. This lady has won, but Trump feels like he should have got it. Because Obama got it for nothing. He did say that. He said Obama got it for nothing. So he's still chasing Obama's record like LeBron's chasing Jordan. It's weird because it's just like, you know what? It is a good thing, even though we're making money off this war, even though we're supporting a guy starving children. A lot of lost Van Jones joke. A lot of babies lost. So, and then you bring an end to it, and then you get celebrated for it. That's weird. I'm trying to think of an analogy that hasn't been used, but any type, it's like you're torturing somebody or you're paying for the torture of somebody, and then you're like, you know what, we're gonna stop torturing you, and then you get an award for that. That's weird. All right, we got a police car going around. So yeah, that's all the news. All right, let's talk about something a little bit lighter. Let's talk about the Riyadh Comedy Festival again. Okay, so 2 more responses for going over to the Riyadh Comedy Festival. Bill Burr went on Conan, and Aziz Ansari went on Jimmy Kimmel and gave explanations. So first of all, just seeing you giving explanations means that you feel that maybe you didn't make the best decision, or maybe you feel you had to kind of cover up why you did it. I feel like if you felt like you were right, you might give one like small response and keep going. So it felt like you were doing a little bit of damage control. That's what it felt like. So the clip from Bill Burr on Conan, he did look a little. That's the most uncomfortable I've seen him look in a while from somebody who's made a living looking uncomfortable. Bill Burr. Conan looked uncomfortable. And they both kind of, their comedy rests in being uncomfortable, but this time it seemed more serious. So they were both like hunched over talking about Saudi Arabia, which that's what Saudi Arabia does to people. They make people uncomfortable and hunched over. So Bill Burr said he was nervous when he got over right before he went up, and a guy yelled out his name. And so him and Aziz both kind of said the same thing, that they were kind of, I guess, pushing their culture forward and making it less suppressed by letting them see American stand-up comedy, which I don't agree with. I don't think that, American stand-up comedy is going against the oppression when the oppressors are the bookers. And you can't make fun of the government, bottom line. So how are you helping with the oppression? And I think everybody's kind of looking side-eye like, you did it for the money. You weren't thinking all that before you went over there. Especially with Bill Burr talking about how nervous he was before he went out, which meant he knew that he was under stipulations in a different environment. I love Bill Burr. Love Bill Burr. People are full of shit. Bill Burr was right about that. It is a lot. The people that are really passionate about this, yeah, you'll lose. When you come to their city, and with how hard life is, and you have a chance to see your favorite comedian, you're probably gonna go. Okay? Unless you're just like hardcore about that. And maybe it'll say, hey, that was a little disappointing. The biggest thing is these are 2 comedians that consistently call people out about doing things wrong. People are going to side-eye. You're going to get a lot of comments underneath. People who TikTok, do podcasts, are going to use that for material and call you hypocritical. But your career is not over. You'll be fine. They'll be fine. Regardless. So, yeah. And then Aziz said he told his team to donate some of the money to I don't know, human rights organizations and stuff like that. So I think, like I said last time, Jessica Kirsten donated all of her money to human rights organizations, which is like a PR move 101 right there. But yeah, Jimmy Kimmel and Conan were just like during the whole interview. Um, so yeah, I think people would have respected a little bit more of him. Like it was a big ass check. And, it was a different type of gig, and I just wanted to do it. So you know, I'm still a fan. But yeah, in the back of my mind, whenever they say something, it's just gonna be like, well, there was that one thing you did. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I had to say about it. But yeah, people were pointing out they never seen Conan that quiet before, and usually he'll try to bail you out. He wasn't saying nothing. Bill Burr was talking. He was just like, ugh. So that was funny. So yeah, it's a learning experience, and I just remember Dave Chappelle selling out Madison Square Garden in the middle of him getting canceled for his Netflix special. So, you know, people are full of shit, but you know, what happens is it gets online and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. People use it for material. People use it to get famous themselves. But overall, their careers, they'll be fine. Nobody's gonna boycott. And I think the biggest, you'll get a side eye. Some fans will be disappointed, but overall, your career will be fine. But it will affect, how people hear you now. So yeah, what those guys have done though has been really great. They made it to the top of comedy. I'm still trying to get there. You know what? I looked on my TikTok. I was like looking at my views overall. It's 12 million views overall, which is an accomplishment in itself. It's weird to have that many views and still be struggling. But, you know, the bar is higher. It's more saturated, and you really got to be different and creative to stand out. I've been watching, you know, some of the up-and-comers, Deshae Frost. I think he's been really creative. That's been inspiring me. Even Ray J's been inspiring me with how consistent and different they've been going hard. I was annoyed with Ray J at first. At first, he was just whining, but he put in the work, especially where he's at, where he's got private jets and he's still going hard. So yeah, still excited. Still trying to stay creative and make things happen, and wake up every day and look forward and put in the work, and do what I need to do, and have fun. But yeah, I have to remember that when I'm walking around and people recognize. I still, nobody ever tells me they recognize me. This girl walked by and started a whole conversation about me. Didn't say hi. She looked at me and then she was like, you know what, when you're funny. So that's always interesting. And somebody was talking about how like all the apps are dating apps now, and I was like, that is true. I definitely like, when I see a pretty girl, I definitely like scroll and like study her for a few minutes. I'm sure everybody does that now. And I realized like I don't like that many people. I think I knew I didn't like that many people, but I was like, I don't think guys realize how like they don't like that many girls, because I know guys get a bad rap for trying to like smash and holler at anything, but I think there's only like a few girls that you get like really excited about. Like you get excited about maybe like a musician or artist or something, where you just want to know everything about them and study them and get to know them better. So that happened to me recently. with this person. I was like, oh, I really like her. Or maybe her content is just that good. I don't know. But yeah, with some people, I'm just looking. I'm just like, I'm into this way more than I'm into that and that. And there's so many pretty girls on the net in my city. Period. There's so many cuties out there, but you don't get excited. You might look, but you don't get excited. So I don't know. I thought that was interesting. Because I was like, oh, that's what girls are talking about when it's just like, why doesn't he want to do this, want to do that? And what they were trying to say is like, you don't really like me like that. Like, you're not excited about me. And I'm like, oh, but I don't know if guys internally know that they're not. They're like, I like her. I think I like her. But you're not excited about her. That's the thing. You're not super into her. And I think that's what girls are looking for. A guy that's like super excited, super into them. Yeah. So it's I think that's a feeling guys should look for. Instead of, I mean, she's cool. I like her. She's pretty. All right, man. That's the podcast on this rainy Saturday. Thanks so much for listening. So yeah, keep showing up, keep doing your thing, and find something to be excited about. All right, bye.